right, welcome back, everybody, to the Fallon in Real Life podcast. I'm Tyler.
I'm Fallon.
Yes, you are. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button wherever you're listening to this, and follow your boys on TikTok and Instagram at FallonIRL. And email your comments, questions, and concerns to FallonIRLpod@gmail.com. Fallon.
Yes, sir.
My question to you today is, how do you handle rejection in a personal setting, in a professional setting, in all settings? How do you handle being told no?
Great
What
question.
is your advice to me first and to everybody else?
Well, rejection, I think, myself, how I handle it.
You never get rejection.
No, that's not true. I love rejection because that just means I'm that much closer to acceptance. Or getting that yes. So personal, we'll talk personal first. Where do you get rejected? You get rejected in friendships. You get rejected in relationships. You get rejected in, just personal achievements, sports, school, just life in general. So my advice to rejection in those environments on a personal level is really make an accounting of that. Why did I not get accepted? What could I have done different to have been better? And ultimately, if it deals with friends, if you're being rejected by friends, that one's a little different situation because, trust me, you're going to find in life that circle of friends becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. Mm-hmm. Because what you start to learn is you surround yourself around the people that make you a better person, that bring you joy, that raise your bar. And if people are telling you they don't want to be your friend, then fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay? You don't need them.
As you start to grow,
Amen.
if other people aren't doing it with you, you kind of start to realize, like,
exactly.
What am I doing?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So don't ever feel that you're hanging out with some people and
you have to stick with them no matter what.
Yeah, no, not at all. Yeah. That is the one area. But when it comes to, again, rejection, if it's school, you get a bad grade. Well, you probably didn't prepare. Okay, and let's just get honest. I've had bad grades. It's because I didn't put the time into it. You don't put time into something, you don't get the result out of it that you'd hope for. So that's a fact. So business rejection. Okay, there's two ways of looking at this. If you're interviewing for a job and you're rejected, you're not given the opportunity, it's because your skill sets probably were not in line with what that job was calling for. Okay, so don't take it as, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. No, you just have to make certain that you line up with the needs of that organization, because a good company doesn't hire you because, oh, I love this person, I want to be around this person. Like, that's a good quality. That's a great quality. But you need to line up with the company's goals or the job's, responsibilities, because you want to be the best candidate for that. So that rejection means preparation again. Just, are you preparing for this? Do you have the skill set? Don't go into an interview if it calls for an MBA and you got an associate's degree.
Yeah.
You're a little off. Mm-hmm. Sorry. You didn't meet that checkbox. So the other avenue is you better walk in there with a lot of experience then, if you don't have that box checked.
But I also think, sorry, not to segue too far, but
yeah,
I do think now maybe is different than it was back then. Getting jobs. You have so many applicants, on paper. How many fucking people graduate every year with the same communications degree? All of the things line up. Like, you might not have gotten chosen just because of if they're splitting hairs on whoever they interviewed, maybe you didn't interview as well as the other person, right? But you have all the skills to do it.
Well, today you're going to go through a process that's more driven by technology. It's scanning all the resumes.
Yeah, it's just looking for keywords. It's not even
exactly. So that
really stand a chance. But
that ties into, again, preparation. Make sure that you've got one solid resume that's going to get you that attention in order to get a in-person interview. Rejection, though, in business, that the way you handle it is important. Okay, losing a sale, let's just say.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't buy, it's not because they don't like the product. It's because generally they didn't like you. I hate to say that, but many times when you're speaking to someone about something that they are interested in, they would like to, potentially have, and you don't execute in finding out why they want it, how bad do they need it, and what are they going to use it for, then you're probably not going to be walking away with their business as well. So when you lose in sales, it's because you've not found the problem and fixed it. And that's always been my approach. If you want something, Tyler, I'm going to ask you, what is it that you're looking for? How are you going to use it? And if I could find a way of making that possible, would we be able to get this taken care of today? It's either a yes or a no. And if you say no, then I'm going to find out why. What is it that's preventing you today from wanting to act on something that you need, want, or have to have? And I found it for you, or I presented it to you. Now we need to get down to the root of why. Why do you think number one reason people don't buy? Money. It's the number one reason. So if it wasn't because of the money, there's nothing that would prevent you from wanting to move forward today, correct? Because now I'm taking that out of the equation and saying, gosh, if it wasn't for the money, you probably would have already gone home with this, or would have already, moved forward.
That's a good, overcoming an objection type thing. What was it that you said? If it wasn't,
if it wasn't for the money, Tyler, we'd be moving forward today, wouldn't we?
That's really good.
No, I am pretty good at this.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Give me another one. What other rejections? If I don't know. My wife probably wouldn't. My wife probably wouldn't go for it.
So what is it about this that your wife wouldn't like?
Oh, well, it's just better if I talk to her.
Well, when you first came here, I wasn't aware you were married. How long have you been married? You need to go down another, because what I'm going to do with this then is say, gosh, in your 10 years of marriage, has your wife ever gone out and made a decision without you? Does your wife need to be present on every decision that's made? Because I think that's smart. We should get her on the phone. Let's discuss this. Because the reality is that he's just throwing an objection to get me to stop.
But you're not.
I'm not. I never stop. I'm a rhino. I am a rhino. That has been always my approach. But you have to do it in a way. The rhino doesn't come out until it's time to close. Okay? And what that means is I'm not going to stop until I feel, again, respectfully. If someone tells me no, not interested, doesn't make sense, thank you for your time, you want to be respectful, because the next thing I'm going to say is there anyone else that you know that could benefit from these programs that I'm offering you today? Or is there anyone else you know that could benefit from the services that I provide? Because I may not have been able to help you, but there might be someone else you know that could really benefit from this. So the reality is you may not walk away with business today with that one person because it didn't make sense for them today, but everyone knows someone else that it could. And that's really the key. That helped me gravitate my business, and everything that I've ever done is asking to help others, whether I do business with you today or not. Now, granted, if we do business and you do move forward, hell yeah. That is a definite. I'm going to ask for, as many people as possible. Any other objections?
Not that I can think of. I'm trying to think of all the corporate training I've gotten where these are the objections, and then you say this, and as corny as it is, they typically work. You know what I have started saying, and I saw it on TikTok. Actually, two things that I saw on TikTok that I think is fucking genius.
Yeah.
Instead of saying, unfortunately, say as it turns out.
As it turns out.
As it turns out. Now, it doesn't work for everything, but hey, can you do this for me? As it turns out, I can't. It takes out the word unfortunately. It doesn't give this kind of already negative interaction another blow.
I like that, because unfortunately means
you're already but as it turns out is this is just a situation. Another one is is there any discounts you give me? Oh, I can make it more expensive. Oh, no, it's okay. Great. Done.
A discount.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could build those in as well. For me, I feel whether you're speaking to someone on the phone or you're doing it face to face, you've got to really get to know that person you're speaking with. And you got to do it
Build
in
that rapport.
Well, building rapport is one thing, because a lot of people can sit there and bore the hell out of you. I don't have time for you to call me and say, Fallon, tell me about your life. Like, come on, buddy. Let's get right to the point. I don't have a lot of time. What have you got that's going to better my environment? Meaning, bring me a solution to my problem, and I'm all ears. Try to get to know me and build rapport and be my friend. I got enough friends. I don't need another one.
I got enough friends.
Let's just get to the point here. And that's great. But I've also found I've met some really awesome people in that environment where they do have solutions. And this last week, I have a client that's getting ready to move into one of the rentals. But he also owns a business in the Bay Area that crushes garbage. Okay? Crushes garbage. So they've got this machine. It just goes and industrial, but it allows the companies to save thousands of dollars. Well, he kind of started explaining a little bit more in depth because it sounded interesting. I was intrigued. I'm always intrigued. It's about, I don't know, 2 or 3 additional weeks that they can go without having to pay for that garbage haul to take place. The numbers were crazy that these businesses are saving in just removing garbage or waste. A lot of it's, the ships come in on the port there in Oakland, all those containers, there's all that material within. It just goes into a dumpster. Yeah. Well, it just needs to be broken down, and clearly interesting business, but I kind of lost my train of thought there.
It's okay. I got another one for you.
Okay.
Along the same lines, how do you handle confrontation? This is different than rejection.
Yeah.
This is like, hey, you did something wrong, or something happened on your watch, and now customer whoever is calling you going, what the hell? Fix this.
Yeah. I had to deal with that a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you get it all from the even personal life threats. They're going to threaten you. It's like, wow, hold on, slow down.
You realize, like, this happened, like, not this happens all the time at my work too, but this happened recently. Like, some guy was really pissed off and threatened to come down and, like, I'm gonna break all your fucking cars. Yeah, you think you're a tough guy behind the fucking counter, like all this stuff. And, like, I mean, we laugh about it now, but, like, dude, people are so unpredictable, and, like, it's kind of terrifying. Like, you don't know what that guy's capable of. You don't know how unhinged this dude is. You don't know, like, what kind of situation or mindset he's in. He's clearly pissed off enough to, like, go off on you on the phone about something silly.
Yeah, no, I had a situation with a ex-employee that threatened me, and I told him that's great. Okay. I called security. This was at Wells. They came down, and I just told him, I said, well, don't come until after 6 o'clock when everyone's gone. Okay. If you have that much anger and you've got beef with me and you're going to threaten my life, great. Okay. I'll see you around 6:15. I want to know everyone's out of the building, and then you get your ass down here. And he was just pissed because his benefits, I called his ass out. He literally left the office with a little thing around his neck and a fucking cane, and he goes in the parking lot, takes it off, and throws it in his trunk with his cane. Are you serious? Yeah, I said, you're a piece of work. You are
just like in a fucking movie.
Yeah, piece. I said, dude.
Oh my God.
You don't need to. You're just a piece of work. And so he got called out on it, and he called me back and literally threatened my life, and that was fine. Like I said, I didn't like it. I was uncomfortable a little bit, but I was more pissed off. Like,
I guess, like, yeah. Do you get kind of like nervous when people?
Well, confrontation comes at you, and to answer your question, this is how I deal with confrontation, because I've had very odd situations occur. I've had other confrontations where it's heated, But in a business environment, there's a difference, If a confrontation gets heated, like I'm out, let's just say at a local bar or something, and someone wants to get confrontational, like that's a fight that's about to go down. That's a little different than
unpredictable. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't know which direction. It's just, you better get ready to defend yourself and be prepared and look at your surroundings. Okay. That's a little different than in business. It's usually, they're calling you, or you get this formal complaint, like drafted email that discusses all the mistakes that's been made or whatever. And you have to fix it.
Whether it was from you or an employee.
Correct. So confrontation for me is an opportunity to really get to the root of what's made this person that angry. And that's really the approach I take first is respectfully, you call them. You don't email them. That's the last thing you want to do is email someone that's just sent you a novel on how much they hate your services or whatever it may be. You call them. As soon as you get them on the phone, you simply are asking to get to the root of really what's going on here. Like, what have we done wrong? You can say you're sorry, but that really doesn't go anywhere. They don't care to hear you're sorry. They want to know you're going to fix it. But I always come with, tell me all about it first, because I really want to hear it from them in a way that we get to address it at that moment, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So that then I can diffuse this as much as possible and then create a possible solution. Because unfortunately, a lot of the times, there is no solution.
That's what I was just about to say that.
There is no solution. Want to know what it is? They wanted to be heard.
Yes.
Okay? They're not happy with what happened. They're not happy with X, Y, and Z. But really, they just want you to hear it and be able to bring something of value to the table. And I don't care if it's a gift card. I don't care if it's, let me investigate this and get back to you with some findings. But you want to diffuse. So that's confrontation in a workplace. The number one skill set that you need to learn is how to diffuse by allowing them to vent, get it off their chest, speak to you, and then, know that the end isn't right now. Okay? You cannot diffuse a problem within a few minutes. Respectfully.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no going into this. This probably be like a 15 to 20 minute phone call at minimum.
Yeah.
And you're going to be getting reamed on the phone.
Nothing about this can happen quickly other than how you position it. By letting them know first as they're venting and going over everything is that you are taking, notes so that you can address this. But it's going to take a day or so for you to get all of your findings put together. What is the best way to get back to them? Phone, email, text message, smoke signal. How are we going to get back to this?
Yeah.
And you set the tone on that early. Is that, listen, I am really excited to put the time into helping you here. And I really want to find out not only how I can help you, but how we can improve moving forward. Because when you can defuse a situation and be able to make a customer feel like they're making a contribution to the business and making it better, that also helps. Some really don't give a shit. Some are
that's true.
Look, I just want money back. I want my money back. I want my money back. Fine.
That's what it all comes, yeah.
And if that's the case, then fine. But defuse it in a way that you're respectful so that they don't go out there and become a keyboard warrior and destroy your business in their words because everything about what you've done is not in line with their goals. And that's fine. That goes back to that first initial meeting with that client. Shame on our rep. Like, that's a coaching opportunity as well. For me, would be to go back and defuse also what happened with the person that they worked with. What did they do right? What did they do that could have been better? I'm never going to say they did wrong because they fulfilled their responsibility in bringing a client in-house, okay, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But there's always a coaching opportunity there too. So defusing a situation is not something that you can just do your first time and do well. It takes a lot of time. And the best skill you can ever have when it comes to a confrontation is closing your mouth and letting them vent. Listen.
I was just going to say, whenever this happens at work, it happens more than I would like to admit, but it does happen a lot. People call and they're pissed off, and like the power of silence and letting them get out. And when people are ranting and whatever, and then there's like the pause, don't say anything. Like, unless it goes on for like 30 seconds, but sometimes I'll let a good 10.
Well, he who speaks first loses.
15 seconds of just like, All right. So, yeah, again, I'm really sorry. You know, if it goes that long, but like for the most part, they just want to like bleh, word vomit, and then they want whatever your solution. Like I'm not into arguing. Like, tell me what the fuck happened.
But if you argue, you are now
exactly. That's what I try
in
not.
the wrong.
I try not to argue, because if you argue, then you're just getting into semantics. What's done is done.
Well, remember,
whatever happened to this person already fucking happened. You're not going to argue with somebody who's taken the time out of their day to send you an email, to call, to ask for the manager, and now they're getting pissed off again about something that happened because they feel like they were wronged,
right?
Quote unquote.
The minute you allow emotion into your approach, you've already lost.
Yeah.
Because now emotionally, anger comes from emotion. Okay. You never show that you just don't show that emotion. You can't when diffusing a situation. Showing empathy, compassion.
Yeah, you don't have to be a hard ass.
No, but you also don't want to be fake.
Yes.
I'm sorry. They'll smell it. It's shitty. I hate fake people. Like, just keep it real. Like, we fucked up. Okay.
Haven't we talked about this? Like, honesty is the best policy.
We have.
Like,
and the truth will set you free. I've always said. And it's unfortunate because, again, if you're just being honest, like, I'm really sorry, it's like the person that isn't happy with their concrete that got poured. I feel bad for that contractor. Because what are you going to do? Break it up and do it again? 9 times out of 10, that is the last solution. If it's, like, totally wrong, then, yeah, it has to be fixed. But, like, the concrete's been poured. It's set. You're not happy. To defuse that could be very difficult because it's set in stone. Literally.
Yeah.
But yes, there's also consequences when dealing with confrontation. And you don't want to add a consequence to your unfortunate approach to this. And that was something that I can say has happened. Just know that you're not the last person this person really wants to talk to. Sometimes.
Yeah. They want to keep going up.
They want to keep going up that ladder. And so you've got to make certain that you understand what you're speaking about, that you are doing it in a way that's not going to make you look like an idiot, because it will come back to you.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. And I mean, when I first became like a manager, I caught myself like kind of over promising stuff. Like, yeah, I'll get you a full refund. Find out, no, I can't. And now I've already had one awkward conversation. Not to call back and be like, hey, so remember when I told you I could get all your money back? So it turns out I can get you half.
But see,
that's good.
But and the learning lesson to that is how you set the tone before you get back to them. Is that I'm going to see what I can do with X, Y, and Z.
And I'll get back to you. Rather than being in that moment, getting flustered and like,
oh, yes.
Well, can you get, sure, if it's going to get me off the phone. And then once you hang up the phone, you're like, oh, fuck, man, what did I just promise this person?
Well, do you hear, customers say it all the time. They don't want the yes man. And a good leader doesn't have a problem saying no, and they stand to it. But when they're trying to fix a problem and defuse a situation, acting on it right now you are not yes and no, other than if they're asking you a question and you need to answer yes or no. Okay. But when they say, I want all my money back, yes. No. You need to look into that. And again, it's in your environment, if they're renting a vehicle from you, something's gone wrong. Okay. You're going to find a solution, but it can't happen in a matter of moments. It's going to take a little bit of time. Could take 10 minutes, could take a day. We don't know. But if you don't set yourself up for that properly, then it's giving that customer an even worse experience. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And just to kind of put a bow on this, there have been situations too where like I could legitimately give this person like a voucher or a refund, right? If it's not a whatever the situation is. And I already know coming in, right? They've called, somebody else has answered. I hear it on speaker. I hear this person. I'm going, they're going to ask to talk to me. I know this person. I know the whole situation. And like, I'll pick up the phone. Hi, so-and-so, whatever. Okay, great news. I'm going to be able to get you a refund. That doesn't even satisfy them. They still just want to be heard. They still just want to get their shit out. It's like people don't really just want the money. They want their money back and they want to be heard. Because right. It's like, I've come out and said from the top, I'm going to get you your money back. And they still were like, well, You know, the time that this is, it's like, oh my God, what do you want? And then I'm getting frustrated when it's like they just want to be heard.
Right. And again, try and take emotion out, because I've found that some of my most troubling clients in the years that called in complaining, whether it was my own client or someone else's client I was dealing with, it's how you handle it. And it's not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be what they wanted. But if you set the tone right and you work with them and they're going to call back and you handle it the same way, again, when you're being real, eventually after 3 or 4, sometimes 5 calls with this same client, and I've had a few, when it's all said and done, they're your best referral. They're going to talk about you in a way that says the world is not perfect.
No.
Nothing is perfect. But if you can just be real and be like, oh, I'm so sorry you bought this chair and it doesn't have a leg. Well, we should have recognized that, you know, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Common sense comes into play. Like, we shouldn't have given this person something if it was broken.
Yeah.
But shit happens. Okay. Fix it. But when it's a service, we're human. We make errors. We say things. Things don't go on schedule. I mean, if you have something scheduled for Friday and it doesn't show up till Monday, it did show up. But now they're devastated. They're frustrated. They set aside time. Like, that's the most common frustration, is things don't happen in their timelines. So a good lesson to learn is to set proper timelines. Always give yourself extra time. In the case of it's delivered on Friday, fuck that. No. We're going to have this done by Tuesday at the latest. That is our goal. And if we can do it sooner, are you opposed to us calling you on Friday if we could even get out as early as Friday? Something like that goes a lot farther than saying we're going to be there Friday, and then you don't show up till Monday. Now they're angry. They're upset.
This goes back to the over-promising.
Well, yeah, and just set proper expectations. I don't want to ever promise. I don't want to set the tone that we're going to go out of our way. And I mean, we should be going out of our way. We should set expectations. We should raise the bar for every customer that you're with, because for every customer you help, there's at least 2 or 3 people they know that you can help as well. So that's the importance of that.
Great. That's all for today. Unless you got anything else.
I'm done.
You're done?
That's it.
All right. We'll see you next week.
Thanks again. Have a great week.